Hey, it is day 3 of my 4-day Read Philippians with Me series, and if you don't know, this is a 4-day series I'm doing where I'm inviting you to join me as I read through the book of Philippians over 4 days, reading one chapter a day, and each day I post a little video sharing what I liked and what stood out to me about the chapter for that day. So I'd love for you to join me if you haven't already, even just for today. Today is day 3, so here's what I liked about chapter 3 of Philippians. What stood out to me today is one verse, verse 17, that says, "Join together in following my example, brothers and sisters, and just as you have us as a model, keep your eyes on those who live as we do." And when I was reading this, I was reminded just how important the influences that we have in our life are. In Proverbs it says, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." And this is definitely true for who we hang out with on a personal level. If we hang out with people that are good influences, then they'll influence us in a good way. But if we hang out with people who aren't good influences, then they'll probably influence us in a bad way. But when I was reading this, I was also thinking that we have more influence in our lives than just the people that we hang around. The people that we listen to, the people that we watch on TV, the people that we see on social media, those people have influence in our lives. And as Christians, it's important to remember to keep our eyes on those who live as we do, those who have good values and who will help us to grow in our relationship with God. Because whether we're spending time with people in person or just seeing them on TV or social media or listening to music or podcasts or anything else, those people will have influence on us. And it's important to exercise wisdom in what kind of influence we let into our lives. And how we can tell a difference between the two, good and bad influence, is what Paul says in verse 19, a couple of verses later, about those who are not a good influence. He says, "Their mind is set on earthly things." As Christians, we're called to set our mind on things above, not on earthly things. Colossians 3:2. In other words, we want our relationship with God to be the most important thing in our life, and to live our lives with a heavenly perspective. And we can tell pretty quickly if someone's mind is set on God and His ways, or on the world and its ways. And it's important for us to discern between the two, and to set our eyes on those who are fixed on God and His ways. And something I do with this is I ask God for discernment and to help me know the character and the heart of a person. And that helps me a lot with deciding who I want to let have influence in my life. So I was just encouraged today when reading to make a note of the influence that I'm letting into my life, good or bad, and to make sure that I'm keeping my eyes on those that I want to live more like and follow their example. So that is what stood out to me today about chapter 3. If you join me in reading Philippians, let's go. I'd love to know what you liked about chapter 3. Let me know in the comments. And if you'd like to join me, you could start from chapter 1 if you want. You're not too late. Or if you just want to join in right now at chapter 3, that would be awesome too. But I'd love for you to join me in reading Philippians. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow for the final chapter, chapter 4.